this week I set myself the task to see if I could make a Shrek cake in less than a week. So I started on the Tuesday and I had up until the Friday to get it finished. I used vanilla sponge and then I covered it in a layer of chocolate ganache to seal in all the freshness, and then I tried something new, which was to cover the cake in the ganache and then use that ganache to sculpt the face. I was pretty happy with how it looked, so I left the cake for the evening and then I came down the next morning, and if you can notice in the background, yeah, that was an absolute fail. The face was far too heavy, the ganache was far too soft, so I had to start all over again with that, and I used some kebab skewers just to give the cake a little bit of something to grip onto. Then I layered the cake up with some fresh cake, obviously because the other cake had been on the floor, covered it in ganache, and then while I waited for that ganache to harden, I went and added on these layers of this coloured modelling chocolate on for his legs and his shoes. And then I moved on to adding on the little frilly section of his boots, and I just used modelling chocolate, which I bent over like that. Then I took a cutout of Shrek's face and placed it onto the head, and I used that to mark out all of his features. Then I went in with this yellowy green Shrek ogre skin colour modelling chocolate, and I put on small blobs until I could get the face into somewhat of the right shape. And this took probably about 2 hours to sculpt altogether, so I've sped it up for you because obviously you don't want to watch all that. Then I added a ball of the modelling chocolate on for his nose, and I don't know if you can notice, but if you can see how small my hands look next to this cake, you will realise how big this cake actually is. Shrek is just under 7 foot, so you know, I think this cake ended up being about 6'4", maybe, I'm gonna say. But I covered the whole thing in a layer of modelling chocolate and then used a blowtorch and a clean cloth to give it this amazing fabric texture. Then I went in and added all of the last details to his clothes, including his belt and his hands. And then once I'd done that, I went on and added his little, I'm going to say snakeskin jacket, but I don't think it is snakeskin. Maybe dragon skin, because you know, dragon, well, hopefully not, because donkey's bird anyway. So then I added on these last details, which was the little lace bit, which connected on his waistcoat. And then I went in and added on the final details to the face, which was painting on the lips, adding in these chocolate eyelashes, and then painting on the last eyelashes, eyebrows, and details on the face. And here you have it, the finished life-size Shrek cake, which I made in around 4 days. I had from Tuesday and I finished it on just early Friday morning, and I'm super happy with the result. I really love how it turned out. I think it could have been a little bit neater, but because I had such a short amount of time, I'm really happy with how it came out. Thanks for watching, guys. I really hope you like it. Come back again to see what I make next.